What are the best ways to edit a music video? You've got one filmed, but how can you make it eye-catching, look really high quality, and help sell your music and brand? If you're curious about making the best music video you can, keep watching because I'm sharing 8 tips today that will make your next music video, even if you've got a tight budget and you're doing it yourself, stand out. Let's blast off and get started. JM in your universe. Konnichiwa friends, I'm Jonathan Miller and welcome back to Jonathan Miller Music, helping you become a better indie artist. I make futuristic and outer space inspired dance pop music, and every Wednesday on this channel I'm helping others take their music to level 2. If that sounds good, consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell. If not, look, these are tough times. I don't even have a pretty setup in the background for you to enjoy, or that would give you the slightest indication that I know what I'm talking about. Where I'm sitting right now looks like I have nothing to do with music. I forgot where I was going with that. Subscribe! Alright, so music videos, regardless of your budget, are something you want to get right because they can really help increase your song sales and help you get new fans as well. Plus, with Billboard announcing recently that it'll be factoring in YouTube views and engagement as contributing factors for getting on the Billboard charts, a music video is now more important than it ever was before. So here are some tips about the editing process that will help you make the best video you can. Tip number 1. Piece together a general idea first. When making a music video, especially DIY, you will be surprised at how much footage you actually need. We'll talk more about why in a sec, but when you sit down and start editing, create a rough draft of where your scenes are going to go. If you made a storyboard before shooting, you should already be pretty sure of where things are gonna go, but in case you forgot or got lazy and didn't want to do one, just put something together that lines up with your song well and tells the general story. It doesn't need to be perfect. Tip number 2, line up your transitions. As you change between scenes and start bringing in a new location or set, it will help you tremendously not only for the editing process, but for making your video look really well put together if you transition between scenes with your subject in the exact same position or pose in both scenes. This is going to make your video, even on a super tight budget, or you're filming it from home in quarantine, feel expensive and cool. A great example of this is in K-pop music videos, as their dance routines are filmed in the same way on a variety of different sets and locations, which makes splicing them together look really cool. A nicely lined up scene change while you or your subject are in the same position will give your video an extra layer of dimension. Tip number 3, don't make too many edits. A good music video balances longer shots with shorter edits. I said earlier that you'll be surprised at how much footage you need, and that's because you'll want to give yourself as much to work with as possible. You should be filming every scene multiple times from a variety of different angles, so that way when you go to the editing process, you have the freedom to choose which one of those makes the best moment. In my experience, slower songs tend to use more longer cuts, and faster songs tend to use more shorter cuts, but balance is key to making your final product shine. Tip number 4, don't go for trendy. Music videos can take quite a bit of time to put together, especially if you're independent. Trends come and go in every art profession, and they're only having relevancy for shorter and shorter amounts of time. Just because a trend you see in a music video looks really cool and appears in a couple music videos for a while, like with special effects, doesn't mean you need to try and replicate it. Instead, go for techniques that highlight you as the artist or your song or your talents. Don't fall for that "you gotta do it right now" feeling, because that pressure will leave you with a messy product that you don't like. Trust me. Tip number 5, don't oversaturate with special effects. Speaking of special effects, don't overdo your video with them. Industry tip, they aren't even a requirement for having an awesome music video. You don't want your video to look like a child who found every effect and added it into a video and ended up with some sort of strange mess. Most directors and editors that I've worked with say to make a list of a few special effects that you want to include on your music video and then use about 10% less. And then make the special effects that you do use shine and amplify your story. Tip number 6, consider hiring out a special effects artist. If you're not well versed in products like Adobe After Effects, it's okay, neither am I. You don't need to be. If you're adamant about having a certain special effect in your video, consider hiring the work out on places like Fiverr, or watch a bunch of tutorials on YouTube and practice as well. However, hiring out a portion of your video, if you have the budget for it, can save you a headache in the long run, and you'll get the desired look you're going for. Tip number 7, color grading. Editing the colors on your music video can create a variety of moods. Think about your song and the story you want to tell in your video. Warmer colors tend to denote good feelings, and colder colors tend to evoke darker emotions. Now, for example, and it isn't a music video, but it's a great reference, look at how bright the first Harry Potter movie is as compared to the last one. The first one makes you feel excited, like a brand new adventure is gonna begin, whereas the final movie is darker and serious and more grown up or sad. Think about these tones when you're editing. And tip number 8, take brain breaks often. The average music video can take anywhere between 2 weeks to a month to edit, depending on your available resources and skill level. That's a lot of time staring at your computer. So be sure to walk away from your project, so that way when you come back, you can see it through new eyes and catch little mistakes. Remember, your goal when creating a music video is to make something that people want to come back to and watch again and again. Even if you're lucky and you've got a sponsor for your music video, you're not creating an advertisement. You're making a memorable promotional tool for you and your voice as an artist and the stories that you want to tell. So follow these tips and your next music video will come together in no time and look fantastic. So those are some tips for editing a music video. Question of the video: what questions do you have about music videos, or what would you like to know about them? Do you have any requests for a future video? Leave me a comment below letting me know. If you want more tips and tricks about music videos, or how to make a low budget music video look great, or how to promote them, I've left some links in the description so you can check them out. And if you like me and you like what I do, consider joining me on Patreon like Maddie and all these awesome people, or following me on Instagram and Spotify. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new. I put out new videos every single Wednesday. Once again, I'm Jonathan Miller, and I will see you next time. See you later.
I am a machine, not a